Hello everyone, Phoenix61 here with your World of Warships Legends update day information. So Picardy campaign has come to an end as of yesterday, and then, now we have the March update, which is going to be, we went through it a little bit in our video from Friday, right? We went through kind of Wargaming's, news page or whatever, right? So there's some other stuff coming, such as like a new game mode, and then some St. Patty's Day stuff, right, that we don't cover in here. But this is kind of what's going on as of today, and for this, the new campaign. One of the biggest things is going to be the Netherlands country is up here right now. So now we have Dutch cruisers, and so these lower ones, it looks like you can play the first two, so tier 1 and tier 2, and then tier 3 and up are going to be from early access crates. I'll show you and talk about those a little bit. And then starting at tier 5 is where you're going to get the airstrike consumable available to you, right? So if you've had the D7P, which is a premium tier 7 variant of these ships, right, from a campaign from this past year, you'd be familiar with those. Those are those like parachute airstrike bombers that you see against you sometimes, right, if you don't have that ship. And then we will go into the store, right, and like all the World of Warships Legends things, there is you are given the ability to spend, close to $200 probably to get, the good stuff, I guess, right? So we'll go into the special tab. This is kind of always the seasonal or campaign temporary stuff in here, right? And so Dutch cruiser crates, there was one for 400,000 silver, right? I already bought that, so you get that free-ish, right? So I would go ahead and buy that if you're not strapped for cash on silver, because that's just your normal currency. And then the big spender thing in here is going to be these, and these are all in this like chained bundle here, right? All of these first ones are just skins, right? They're just the premium skins for all the Dutch cruisers, throughout the new line. The big thing is going to be the Guden, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong, right? Which, and that's what I was showing in the beginning of the video, right? So this is going to be the legendary variant of those Dutch cruisers that comes with the aerial HE bombs, okay? And you'll get airstrike, or you'll get anti-air booster sonar with 5-kilometer ship detection range that lasts 100 seconds, right? So that's pretty good. And then I'll quick scroll through the stats here. So that's going to be your airstrike bombers, right? Your airplanes. And then pretty decent main battery guns as well, right? 16-kilometer base range, right? That's with no mods and no commander, right? I don't have this ship. I don't have anything set up on it, right? So that's your range. And then it looks like pretty decent fire setting chances and pretty decent AP shell damage as well. AA defense looks pretty great also. So I'll scroll through these, right? As always, if you're interested in taking a longer peek at any of those stats, go ahead and hit the pause button. Then I'll take a quick peek at the Citadel, right? It's kind of where my interest peaks, right? Where do I shoot this ship if I'm shooting at it, and where do I avoid being shot at if I'm playing it, right? So yeah, it's a little bit above the waterline there, a little bit buried, but yeah. There she is. There she blows, right? And I'll do a quick peek at the overview here, right? Sure shots. So shells with good ballistic trajectory, maintain velocity, making aiming easier, right? So it's going to be kind of your more faster flying bullets. I'm going to take it. But the thing is going to be, right, you need this currency, the Goldens, right, because, you could get through, I think you could, for free-ish, right, if you were to, there's also calendar event too. So if you play the calendar event every day, you could get 700 of the Guldens. The free variant of the campaign will get you 1,500 Guldens. Admiralty backing will get you 3,000 Guldens. So that gets you for free-ish, right, including Admiralty backing for the campaign, gets you 5,200 Guldens, right? And so if you want to get the legendary ship, you're going to still need 21,700 Guldens, which basically means you just need to spend 60,000 doubloons and just go ahead and get the all sets on the random bundle stuff, which will get you early access to all the early access cruisers plus the D7P. So that's just, if you wanted that, that's what I would do. But 60,000 doubloons is just too much money for me for ship skins and one legendary ship, right? So free-ish, you could unlock the first 2 chains, and then you would need to start spending money in the random bundles, right, to go any further than that. So a little too rich for my blood. I will not be getting that ship. I wasn't sure I think maybe it's one of those ones where they're planning on making the legendary ship available through like the Bureau project or something else later, right? Like it's going to be at least a year from now kind of thing. Like if you want it now, that's how you got to get it now. But yeah, within the campaign, right, if you buy Admiralty backing, there's you would get 10 more of the Dutch cruiser early access crates, and then at least 1 Azur lane crate I saw in there as well. And then of course the campaign again is going to be a legendary ship, which is kind of nice. This is going to be the Vampire 2, which going to have torpedoes, but I think this is going to be more of a gun focused boat, because if you look at the torpedoes, it is only 1 launcher of 5 torpedoes, right? And so you're gonna get smoke, speed boost, and sonar. If you notice, the smoke duration is longer than the dispersion time, right? So yeah, just keep that in mind, right? And so, but yeah, this is going to be, engine boost will give you 8% for 120 seconds, and then sonar is pretty decent at the tier, right? 4.4 kilometer ship detection range, which is, there's definitely some German destroyers out there that have sonar that can beat you, and then there's a couple of radar destroyers out there, right? So yeah, but I think where it's going to be here is going to be the guns, right? 3x200 12 millimeters or whatever that was, right? And then so I would build into the guns. I would make this a full-on gunboat destroyer hunter, right? And then decent AA for the tier, decent maneuverability and concealment. Starts at 7 kilometers there, right? Just keep in mind that's without any of the mods or a commander on there. So yeah, you could hopefully get that down pretty decent as well. And then yeah, just here's your quick shot at the overview. You can fire the torpedoes one by one, just like your like a lot of your British ships, right? But yeah, that's going to be campaign. I will probably pick that up and then plow through it like I normally do. I don't ever recommend buying out a campaign. But yeah, and there's a calendar event too that I think I forgot to skim through here. But yeah, if you're wanting the Orange Fleet, right, it's 60,000 doubloons, so that's probably $200+ American dollars worth of doubloons. And then of course Azur Lane Wave 6. That is how many waves of Azur Lane stuff there has been. 3 ships, 2 skins, and 5 commanders. If you again want to spend a couple $100 to get everything. I will go through the crates too. I think there was a couple of ways to get a freebie crate, right? And then at least 1 in the campaign. And then there's 2. These are just skins, the Asasio and Heinrich, right? These are just skins, right? These are nothing special here. They look cool. Like I do like the Heinrich skin, but I probably will not spend 5,000 doubloons. I like how cool the skin is, but I don't play that ship that much is my thing, right? So if it's not a ship that I play a lot, I'm not gonna buy the skin just to have it, right? So, and same with Asasio, right? Like I do play this ship here and there because it's a premium 6 go-to for me, right? But I have others, and I'm not as excited about that skin, right? And then yeah, there's Formidable, which is going to be this is your British aircraft carriers. So we'll take a quick peek at the ships. There's a couple of things different about the ships than like their sort of like non-Azur Lane counterparts. If you notice here on the overview of the ship, right, it says AP bombs and skip bombs. So if you notice here, you get the skip bombs similar to the Soviet, Russian battle or aircraft carriers, but then you also get AP bombs, so you don't have torpedo drops with that ship. It's kind of I think that's the only one that doesn't have torpedo drops, right? And then Azur Lane Richelieu, this does look pretty cool. Of course, I'm just not going to be up for spending that much cash for one ship, but it is a little more HE shell focused. So I think I saw on the patch notes for the Azur Lane stuff, right, or updates, right, that it was like more range and then more AP or more HE shell damage and more HE shell fire setting chances, like that kind of thing, right? So basically an all-out, a fire spam battleship, range battleship, right? And then Azur Lane Harbin, the stats on this one, I think it was maybe a little bit more into the torpedoes was the way the stats were modified, and a little less into the guns. So you do you there. I'm not interested. I won't be picking up any of the ships unless maybe I get them from a crate, right? So I do have a pick on the commanders just because of my own personal playstyle, but we will start with Prinz Heinrich because she has, the most under boobs I've ever seen in an Azur Lane commander. Oh, actually, I don't know if that's true or not, but but yes, this is going to be a battleship focused commander. So base trait, gives you a little bit more, AP, whatever, right? I'm just not excited about her. The only, this very typical normal battleship stuff. Notice not brawling battleship picks here. And then her sort of unique perk, right, is more range and better shell grouping. And then, which are great because those goes up to 8%, which is awesome. Those are awesome stats. But then it's gonna take away some secondary range and secondary battery reload, right? So you're basically would put this on any German ship that you don't have a secondary battery build with, which isn't very many, right? And then we get to Harbin, Azur Lane Harbin. This is the commander that I will pick up mostly because of my playstyle, and I like torpedo-centric cruisers. So base trait, chances of cruiser HE shells causing fire up to 2% more, great. Cruiser torpedo flooding chance up to 40% chance once you max this up. Then that is kind of crazy to me, right? So that's going to be that commander, and I'm already thinking ahead. Like, I've got my Japanese, if you guys watch my channel, I play Takahashi a lot. I play these Japanese, sort of the Japanese variant of these, right? And I would maybe get rid of Space Fishy here and put Azur Lane Harbin on for my inspiration. And then, of course, I have this Marissa LaLoca from the Pirate Commander, right? For the Pirate updates, right? Or whatever, collaboration, whatever. Right? So I may, there's some potential there, right? So if you're interested, if you're using other torpedo cruisers, that's a good base trait to equip elsewhere, right? If you're keeping that in mind. So, but yeah, and then this is I would go full on meme torpedo build with this thing, right? More torpedo speed here, more torpedo range here, faster reload of torpedoes for row 3, and then her unique perk, Blazing Battle Dance, cruiser torpedo damage while inside the smoke screen, right? You get the smoke screen with these that last a good amount of time, and then killing distance, which was another similar, the same perk essentially on my Japanese cruiser commander, right, where the little bit more range, less more sneaky, less detectability of the torpedoes, and then as the further they go, the more damage they do, right? So if you look at, I'm gonna go and take a peek here, like who I have on like Sojong, right? So yeah, and then ultimately Jinan, right? So I've been working through that Bureau project, so we should have that ship fairly soon now. But yeah, this is your sort of standard commander, which this Chen guy, right? He's your standard guy. And so you can see here I have cruiser torpedo detectability, right? And so I have that same commander. Then I built range here, but Azur Lane Harbin, like some of her perks had a little bit more torpedo range, so I might not need that, right? Like, so I could swap that out for something else, right? So we'll have to play around with that, but I'll definitely, Azur Lane Harbin is my choice, mostly because, and this commander's got, I'm rocking fully packed here, which gives me, the extra consumables. This guy does have the torpedo chaos, which, helps with reload booster cooldown time and more torpedo damage, and it gives you an extra reload booster charge. I don't really care about the extra reload booster charge because honestly it's hard to get through all 3 or 4 of them, right, if you get them right. So, but with fully packed, I've got 4 smoke screens, 3 heals, and 3 reload boosters. So if I use killing distance instead of fully packed, right, I'm getting rid of one of each of those. So that'll be the trade-off there with that one. So, but I'm definitely going to use it that way. I'm going to try it that way, but and then it'll put me down to 2 reload boosters for the torpedoes, which I think is reasonable, right? I think that's fine. But like you could with the other commander, you could max it out at 4 of those torpedo reload boosters, but they're kind of hard to get through because the cooldown on them is like 3 or 4 minutes, right? So you'd really have to be using them almost right when they're available, right? So, and then we have Formidable, right? So this is going to be a aircraft carrier commander. It's a good one, right? It's good. I don't play, me personally, I do not play carriers enough to justify spending the money on the commander, right? So I personally will not be picking this one up. I think her unique perk is the one on the right of this third row here. Dive and skip bomber HP, torpedo bomber HP, restoration time for aircraft type when 50% or fewer planes of that type are in your hangar, right? So basically, it prints airplanes for you slightly faster if you're getting low on them, right? And then you've got the vault or fully packed for your legendary perk. I would probably pick the vault, right? And then last but not least, Richie Lewis here as well. Sorry, we got 2 more. Main battery shell grouping and incoming fire dispersion, fine. But I think where the call out here is going to be is I would do a fire spammy build with this, because that's how the Azur Lane Richie Lou ship is, that's where that focus is. So I would pick range there, and then I would pick her unique perk, the Iris's Flame, battleship main battery shell, damage to burning ships, right? So you'd already have the ship, kind of built out to trigger fires, right? Just based on the Azur Lane Richie Lou ship itself. Right, so I don't know. I think if you're going to get the ship, you would get the commander as well, would be my recommendation. But I am not picking either of them up unless I get them from a crate, right? So I'm just not. It's it's a too rich for my blood personally kind of thing, right? But I think they're great. I think they're good. I'm just like, there's so many other things I like playing that the cost doesn't justify how much I would play the ship with the commander, right? So, but yeah, if you're interested in that, you do you. I do think it's good. Destroyer torpedo damage while undetected by ships, right? So Asashio is going to be the last but not least commander, right? So this is a Japanese destroyer commander, a little bit more torpedo boat centric, right? Most of the Japanese destroyers are a little bit more torpedo boat. There's a few in there that are worth building out as gunboats, but this is a torpedo boat commander. And if you're not, I don't think she's that much better than the free-to-play commander, right? Razio Tanaka, right? His base perk has up to plus 5% torpedo damage, and you don't have to be undetected for that, right? So it's 1% more, but then you don't get any. It's plus 0% more if your ship is detected, right? So I don't know. I'm not a fan of that base trait, because there's decent stuff out there that's free too, right? But yeah, I would go torpedo reload time. You do you on this third row here. Perceptive is a good choice, but you could build a little bit more range. And then, her unique perk, torpedo speed and torpedo protection reduction for each destroyer launch torpedo hit. So basically, things like a lot of your American battleships, right, are have a little bit of torpedo protection that kind of nerfs torpedo damage a little bit. You could start to bypass that when you start getting multiple torpedo hits on one of those ships, right? But honestly, like I'm not picking it up because I have another torpedo centric commander that I bought from a different collaboration wave, right? So which is, I think, was the Star Trek collaboration. So I'm gonna go see who I have on my Asashio. So Commander Salas, this was from a Star Trek collaboration, a year or so ago, whatever it was. Her base trait a little bit better, but her unique perk is torpedo detectability, right? 100 meters less, right? Your torpedoes get 100 meters closer to the enemy before the enemy can spot them, right? And then it was concealment too, was also built in there. And then I'm using inspirations. I'm using these two guys, which are free to play commanders for inspirations, right? So I don't think there's, like I said, like the Azur Lane Asashio commander is good, but I don't think it's worth the, I personally won't pick it up. If you're interested, if you don't have another commander, right, for Japanese destroyers, then maybe it's a good choice. But even Tanaka's decent, right, for, he's got reload time, like better reload time's always good. And then, and then I have this Takeo guy, right, I'm using him for my couple of ships that are gunboat centric on the Japanese side. So I wouldn't recommend using him, but yeah, you would use Tanaka if you don't have anybody else, right, for your Japanese destroyers, right? Kind of, yeah, no brainer. Yeah, I think that covers the Azur lane commanders, and then we kind of touched on the ships. Let's take a peek at the crates and what you can get from the crates, right? So if you're someone that, just has to have it all, you would probably just spend the big chunk of doubloons on the bundle that includes all the ships, all the commanders, and the skins, right? But you can get a couple of 1 or 2 free crates from throughout the campaign, and then I'll show you. These aren't bad, right? I think it's like 10%, right? So, but yeah, always keep in mind with these crates, man, like your top chances of things to get are credits, camos, XP, promotion orders, right? So, but yeah, then once you get down here, 10% chance for one of the commanders, and then the skins as well, and then it's only 5% chance for one of the 3 ships, right? So just keep that in mind. But the nice thing is if you do get a commander and the crate's going to trigger for another commander, it won't give you a duplicate commander, right? It'll always make sure you get a different one, which is kind of nice. Back in the day, it used to not work that way. But yeah, so you do. I don't know. I might do some crates, like the 20 pack or whatever on live stream. So yeah, stay tuned if I live stream, right? And then yeah, the early access crates, these also I just are not worth spending real money on to me, because your chances of getting one of the cruisers, which are early access cruisers, right? Like that's early access. That's nothing crazy. There's nothing special about them, because they will eventually become available. But starting at tier 4, it's still only 5% chance, and it goes down all the way down to 0.01% chance for the better ones, right? So for Harlem, and then D7P, of course, is the tier 7 premium variant, right? So not worth spending real money on the early access crates. You do get, I think, 10 of them through the campaign if you buy Admiralty backing. So it might be a few less if you're 100% free to play. And then if you get one, great. And if not, do not worry about it at all, right? But that is going to be our video for the day. We will end with the Golden Hue, right? I'm sure I'm saying this ship wrong, but yes, it would be a great ship. It's just, and I know there'll be people out there playing with it on day 1. Good for you, right? The wallet warriors out there, all the more power to you. But yeah, I will not be spending the like $200 or so worth of doubloons that it would take to get enough of the event currency to make it through the chained bundle to be able to buy this ship, right? So just a little bit much for me. But make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Thanks for watching again, guys. And yeah, we do Legends videos every day, just about. And so yeah, if you're subscribed, we'll see you guys tomorrow.